Hello, and welcome to Video Streaming in Resonite, brought to you from the Eduside Dome in beautiful downtown Resonite. And our host for today is a cardboard cutout of Jason. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave the Turner. Many of you probably know me as the 3D camera guy, and I usually look like this. But for this video, I decided it would be less confusing if I was a Ready Player Me avatar. This is actually the first avatar I was when I came into Resonite. To be honest, what I hope to do in this series of videos is to recruit a crew of camera operators, camera directors, and drone operators to work with me or to work independently to fill a need for people skilled in streaming for various events in Resonite. So I'm going to be doing a series of episodes about streaming from Resonite using equipment that I'm familiar with. There's probably better ways to do it, but this is what I know and this is what I'm going to talk about. So what I've been doing for a while now is I've been using Zizzle Switcher Cam along with a drone camera that I made. A drone camera that I modified and integrated in with the Switcher camera to do events and anything else that I could practice recording or streaming. So what I'm going to do for this episode is basically give you an overview and introduction to those assets that I have. So what you see here is a control booth that I built to contain all the equipment and to keep things isolated from the venue. The control booth is not really a part of the switcher or the drone or anything else. It's just something I made to feel more comfortable. So I'm going to leap off of here right now, and I'm going to show you a few things. Right now, you're watching me in front of the switcher. I have a camera right over here, and that's one of the static cameras that I have labeled booth. So I can go back and forth between the title screen and the booth and the cardboard host. And now I'll come back here. And so there are several static cameras set up in here. When they're put in position, they stay there and you don't change anything. There are also what I call attached cameras. So right now you're viewing through a static camera. I have an attached camera that's a first person viewpoint. Now that camera is attached to like essentially the front of my face, and so it sees what I see. And it's smoothed a little bit so it doesn't have the jerkiness that it would normally have if we were just looking through my headset. Now here's another attached camera. And this attached camera is called a third person viewpoint, and it looks over my shoulder. It's not static, it actually moves with me, and it has a smoother on it so that it isn't very jerky. Now these things are adjustable, but the adjustments are kind of difficult to do during a live performance. So all this stuff really needs to be set up before the show. Now this is the static camera that I started with when I was standing on the platform, which I'll show you. Here I am. All right. Now the last thing I have here that I want to show you is the drone camera. So now I'm going to click on the drone camera, and it shows you what's coming out of this drone right up here. The drone camera is attached to this control panel, and when I click this viewport, now you see what the drone camera sees. So I'm going to fly up here and take control of this drone camera right now. And now I'm going to fly it. I can fly it all around the venue. So I can fly it outside the venue. I can fly it any place I want. So this is a nice thing when I'm doing an event or doing a tour, say a world tour, because a camera can follow the people through the world tour. Now the camera also has an audio listener, a microphone that will pick up people talking or any other sounds that are in the world. It's a nice thing for an event like this, for a talk, because it can fly around in the audience. I can fly up to someone who's asking a question and hear what they're saying. All right, I'm going to jump back out of the drone. Okay. So another asset that I mentioned is the mechanical asset, what I call a gadget, that you can attach a camera to, and the camera is not controlled by the switcher, it's controlled by whatever you build. You build this thing, custom build it to suit your needs in an event. And the swoop camera was an example of that. Just for fun, I'll show you what happens if I swoop out. Now that camera is attached to a large spinner that's set to go a certain distance at a certain time in order to do the swoop in. Here we do it again, just because it's cool. This is done totally independent of the switcher itself. The only thing the switcher does is to mirror that output to the monitor. Now I have another camera attached to a gadget, and this one sweeps back and forth in front of the stage to look at the audience. Now this one's not adjustable, it just goes back and forth. I have some other things that I've built that are more dynamic than that, but they're not set up right now, and I will probably talk about that stuff later in a tutorial. Okay, something else I didn't mention is that you click on any one of these viewpoints to send the video to the stream. So here's my first person viewpoint. And what you see down here is a thing that says stop mirroring to display. If I say stop mirroring, then nothing is going to the monitor. And what you're seeing is just what I see in my headset. So if I say mirror to display, it uses the switcher, and whatever's selected on the switcher streamed out to my computer. That might be enough for the first video just to get things started. But again, to reiterate, I'm drumming up interest in working with the switcher and the drone camera to record events, record world hops, or just record what people are doing in their worlds, doing interviews, or just finding an interesting world and just doing a tour through it with a drone. Usually it's much better to have people for a lot of reasons. For one thing, the drone is not an avatar, so there are things that avatars would normally trigger in a world that the drone does not. Another thing is a lot of worlds have culling zones in them, and when the drone goes into the culling zone, it doesn't see anything unless the operator is also in the culling zone. So that's enough for now. I think that's good enough to start. So I've learned a lot since I started doing this. I've learned a lot about the switcher. I've learned a lot about how to fly the drone and how to do streaming and editing recordings and flying through worlds and working with people on arranging events. But one of the things I learned is one person can operate the switcher and the drone, and you can even have more than one drone. But what I have found is that it gets very confusing. And I believe that it would be much better to have more than one person in the booth at a time to coordinate things. Maybe one person operating the switcher and maybe one or two people with drones. And I believe that it would make a much better video with that kind of coordination. So I want to encourage people, if you'd like to be part of a crew, or if you'd like to have a switcher and a drone for yourself, or you just like to have a drone for yourself, which can be flown independently, just let me know. I'd be happy to give it to you or help you or teach you. So anyway, bye. I'm Dave the Turner. I usually look like this. So watch for me. I'll be out there.